Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to our term paper video presentation. My name is Akid and I am excited to share with you the title of our term paper, which is Hunted Meat When Do While Animals Become Haram. Before we begin, I would like to thank to our beloved lecturer, Professor Madya Dr. Chemah, for teaching as well. So, the video presentation will include a brief overview of hunted meat that will be discussed in the presentation, and we will have time for the Q&A session at the end. I believe this information will be useful to all, and I am confident that you will find it insightful and informative. So, let's dive in and start our learning journey together. Hi, my name is Akid Haziq bin Noorzeri.
Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. My name is Noor Naquiyah binti Forkan.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farhani binti Ashrolfani.
The beginning of our topic is that we must know what is definition of hunted meat is. Meat from animals that have been killed or cooked during hunting activities is referred to as hunted meat. Hunted meat is frequently valued highly and regarded as a delicacy, but if hunting is conducted carelessly, it may also have negative effects on the environment. While some individuals avoid it out of ethical concerns about shooting wild animals, others like it because they believe it to be a more natural and sustainable source of protein. It is also crucial to keep in mind that hunting laws and regulation differ by region, so eating meat from animals that have been hunted may not be permitted in certain places.
The introduction of hunting. The act of tracking down, pursuing, catching or killing wild or feral animals is called hunting. Islamic Sharia law permits the taking of halal animals and birds as long as they are difficult to capture and slaughter. It is not used for trophy hunting, rather it is just for eating. If it happens during the Haram months while performing Haji or Umrah, hunting animals become forbidden.
Definition of halal hunted meat. First, halal meat refers to meat that is permissible to consume according to Islamic dietary law. Second, in order for meat to be considered halal, it must come from an animal that has been slaughtered according to specific guidelines, like killed by making a cut to jugular vein, carotid artery, and windpipe while Allah's name is chanted over it. At the moment of slaughter, animal must be alive and in good health. Lastly, as long as the name of Allah invoked before injuring the animal, it is acceptable for meat to be halal for eating. So, for the main issue in hunted meat is about hunted safety and animal health concern. So the first one is game meat is usually referred to as hunted meat is the meat of wild animals that have been hunted for consumption. So the issue is hunted meat can prevent a safety concern if the animal was not handled or killed properly. When animal is handled or killed improperly, the meat may become contaminated with bacteria and another diseases which can result in food poisonings. According to Brand Carrier 2022, the characteristics present in the pre-harvest and hunted piece, they are specifically relevant to hunters, such as the lack of storage prior to skinning, the ambient temperature during hunting, and the gap between shots can thus be taken into consideration when addressing hygiene and safety issues. So for the second issue is animals that were hunted in the wild would have been exposed to toxic and contaminant that could have built up into their tissues. Special risk factor for the game meat is presence of heavy metal in the tissues of wild game. which is involved shooting with lead, triple bullet can also contribute to the presence of heavy metals in the game meat. This can also hazard to health of human who eats the meat, particularly if the animal is ingested frequently. So, for the last issue is why animals that are hunted may potentially have diseases that can be transmitted onto humans. Consuming meat from hunted animals may expose one to some animal-borne illnesses such as chronic wasting diseases (CWD) and bovine tuberculosis. However, consumption of CW-contaminated cervical meat is not known to cause diseases in human or domestic livestock. To find out if CW agent can spread between species and infect human and domesticated animals, research is now being conducted. As a result, it should be crucial to carefully inspect the animal and have it processed to ensure that the meat is clean, chilled, and cooked to the appropriate temperature. Likewise, it is advised to properly boil meat to eradicate any harmful bacteria or parasites.
For the subtopic of hunted meat, there are 3 subtopics, and one of them is animal meat, halal and haram categories. Nutritious food or halal food is food that is well received by human feelings, that is called at-tayyibas. Food that is haram to be eaten is food that is not good or disgusting to be accepted by anyone, that is called al-khaba'is. There is 7 categories to determine the halal and haram of animal meat. First of all, unless there is proof that an animal is a haram, like pigs, dogs, or the like, all animals are considered to be halal under the original rule. According to this theory, any animal that is not specifically designed as halal or haram is considered to be halal. The second one, all farm animals that are typically kept by halal humans are considered halal, whether they are domestic or wild. Nevertheless, all wild animals, whether domestic or wild, are considered to be haram. The third one is as long as there is no justification for forbidding it, animals eaten by Arabs and adopted as part of their culture are considered to be halal, while haram refers to animals that are not eaten by them because they are repulsive or disgraceful. The fourth one, all animal creatures with powerful teeth utilize them to pounce on their victims, and all birds with sharp claws are haram. For instance, caninos, wolf, bears, cats, elephants, leopards, panthers, monkeys, eagles, and other animals of the same sort. For the fifth, it is prohibited to consume any animal that the Prophet encouraged or had circumcised, as well as any deadly or venomous creatures such as snakes, scorpions, crows, eagles, and rats. For the sixth, animals that are produced by crossbreeding between halal and haram species are prohibited or haram. For the last one, frogs and crocodiles are examples of haram animals that live on both land and water, but only aquatic creatures such as fish are halal.
So now, method for determining halal and haram animal meat. So first, animals that are slaughtered according to perspective of Islamic law are halal to eat where cutting by jugular veins, carotid artery, and windpipe while Allah's name is chanted over it. But the meat taken from live animal is haram to eat according to the Sharia. The second is the animal must be halal animals and may be eaten, for example, cow, goat, buffaloes, and chicken. Even though an animal is being killing in Allah's names, it if a prohibited animal, such as pig, eating the animal is still against the law. In other words, the animal status do not turn halal, even though it has been slaughtered according to Sharia. So, the animals cannot be predator or scavenger, and it is not allowed to be eaten. such as lions and vultures. There are two examples of animals that haram to eating because they are predators. Lastly, for an animal, it must be healthy and alive when slaughtered. It also cannot be murdered in front of other animals, and it must not give in any type of stunning before slaughter. This can make the meat of animal halal for consumption.
The next subtopic is about 5 rules of animals hunting. In Islam, there are certain rules you should abide by when hunting animals. Number 1. Term and condition for the hunted. The conditions that apply to land animals hunters are the same as the conditions that apply to people who will slaughter, and that is they must be Muslims. As long as they are of legal hunting age, which is at least 17 years old, the hunter must be. And in order to hunt, they need to be conscious. When hunting an animals, they must be aware of their obligations. If they merely go hunting for fun until the animals dies but there is no intention to eat or use, it is not permitted. The next rule, term and condition for the prey. Animals that are permissible to consume according to the Quran and Islamic law should be the prey. The animal must be naturally wild, and don't hunt any animals that can hurt you back, such as crocodiles and lions, and it also can be a bug or a pest. Number 3. Hunting from sea. A person does not have to a Muslim or mention the name of Allah in order to catch a fish. However, it is essential for a Muslim to watch or guarantee that the fish is bring alive from the sea or that it dies in the net in the water. As long as you abide by Islamic law, hunting in a game area is acceptable. Rule number 4. The hunting weapon. You must have a hunting weapon that is ready for use. It is depicted in a sharp enough manner to accurately flesh the animal. Due to the potential harm to the animal, using something which such a sharp edge is not acceptable. Hunting with a shotgun and a hunter-trained animal is legal. This is proves the animal was properly slaughtered. Following that, it becomes food that is legal and also acceptable to you. And the number 5 is about hunt the lawful animal only. A wild animal whose meat is lawful to eat becomes holy and lawful by being hunted if it can run or fly. You could be unsure of which of those animals is allowed in a wild environment. If an animal is made illegal by the law, it is forbidden to eat according to Islamic law.
For the finding, we decide to do a research about the topic of illegal animal hunting. On 19 December 2019, through the traffic website, they report that the desert goat species is under threat. This is due to the species having a very high demand for medication and even healing the black magic. Various ailments can be cured. Family issues can be resolved. Confidence or luck can be increased, and even the devil's involvement can be protected against. In the meantime, the latest Wildlife Protection Act made a new enforcement in June 2010. A fine up to around 500,000 ringgit Malaysia and a maximum of 5 years in prison for anyone who hunts desert goats or their body parts. This species is severely treated by human brutality, which includes illegal hunting and the sale of animals for profit. all Malaysians must remember to not follow the superstition that might endanger the existence of this rare species. Say no to illegal hunting to protect all the rare species in Malaysia.
From the discussion of hunted meat, some Muslims in Malaysia are unaware of the types of meat they are permitted to consume. The country's significant Muslim population has also contributed to a marked rise in demand for halal meat products. Muslim consumers additionally take on the risk of purchasing fake halal meat, which is due to inconsistent Islamic authorities' regulation and a lack of consumer education regarding halal foods. It is our duty as Muslims to ensure that all food products we consume are halal, whether in a Muslim or non-Muslim neighborhood. Islamic groups also must assess how well educated their customers are about halal food and seek to increase awareness of halal products.
So that's all from us. Thank you for lending your ears to listening our presentation today. If you have any question, you have to wait while the Q&A session opens. That's all for us. Thank you.